All right. How's it going, guys? Morning, Adam.
Good morning, Zach. Or afternoon, nighttime.
Evening here. Yeah. Night. And good morning, everyone else, wherever you are watching, whatever time of the day it is. I hope you're all having a great day on this week. It's right at the end of September here, September 30th here, and there too, I guess now we're on the same time.
Yeah.
September and just the summer in general, I feel like really just disappeared.
Yeah.
No. What happened to that? This past weekend, it was like really sunny. We were driving around or something. I was out with my family. And I said to my wife, I said, it feels like, because it was like a sunny and hot day, so it feels like it's more like the middle of summer or still like kind of early summer, because I feel like it just has gone so fast. You know, like we have a rainy season here, like in the middle of like summer. Usually it's like in July. It's our rainy season here. And then after that is when it gets like to the super hot, humid. But our rainy season here was especially long as well too this year. So I think that's also kind of why it felt like that. But
Gotcha.
Man, it's a shame that it's basically going to be fall next week. But last weekend it felt like the beginning of summer still. So
this morning it was finally 60 degrees here in Florida in the morning today. So I'm sure it'll get back up to 90. But
yeah,
it felt good.
That sounds not bad at all, but I guess that's probably cold for you. Yeah. No, we've had that as well too. It's been getting pretty cold at nights and everything, but yeah, good old global warming.
Yeah,
it was nice having. Basically, it was like living here this summer was like living. We kept saying it's like being in like a Southeast Asian country where it like rains every day.
Oh yeah,
like farther south from here. Because it was just rainy season, just never ended. It's always raining. But anyway, we got some cool stuff to talk with you all about today. As usual, we're going to take a look at some new stuff in stock. Adam will show us some new stuff there. And we're also going to take a look at, just recently we had some more pictures finally of the Master Grade Wing Gundam EW Burka, and also a couple of pictures of this young. So I want to talk with you guys all about that stuff. I talked about that, of course, in the news video earlier this week, but just want to go over, Adam and I will just kind of go through those photos and analyze everything CSI style, see what we can check out, how the kits are going to be. So we'll do a little bit of that too. And then of course we'll get to your guys' questions now. Apologies to you all that I was a little bit late in posting for you guys' questions to post ahead of time. So there's only a few of those we'll go through, but the good news is for those of you guys watching live, you'll have plenty of time to ask your questions here live this time. Usually we just kind of are getting a few in at the very end, but we'll have plenty of time for you guys live questions today. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So that's the plan for today. But first, Adam, you want to show us some new stuff you got there in stock?
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of pallets in yesterday. So we're still working through getting everything put up on the site, the stuff that came back in stock. And then this is just some of the new stuff that we got. We have a bunch of other new stuff that is just lost in the pallets that I couldn't find yet. But we did get the Gundam Anima Rise in, and I know this has been a pretty popular kit so far with pre-orders. We do still have plenty available for anyone that wants to order them. I haven't even started building one yet, but I would assume they're kind of like the other ones from the series. I would assume so.
Yeah, so my experience with the Build Divers series so far, I've built maybe half the kits in the line so far. What few there are, but I think overall they've been good. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they've been pretty solid kits. I think Bandai's done a good job with all their new engineering and stuff like that, and then transferring that to the newer kits as they come, which is cool. We did.
Yeah, it was kind of the opposite with the Build Fighters Try, because the kind of towards the end of the Build Fighters line there, it wasn't so much like you're saying how like using the new technology and making these new kits, right? It was like trying to make new kits out of the old technology.
Right. Yeah,
wasn't really working.
Yeah, and I haven't built a whole bunch of the re-rise kits, but I feel like they're mostly new parts. I feel like the Build Divers or the Build Divers and the Build Fighters, or they had some old parts with new parts and stuff like that, which doesn't really work out that well.
Yeah. The only thing is just about the designs, like that's why I've only built some of the Build Divers Re-Rise kits, is because I'm not really too into all the designs. So some of the designs, are going to be more appealing to some than others, but in my experience, they're just objective quality of the kits has been good. So that's good.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we did get, for you Fate fans, these are pretty cool kits. So this is a Saber. Is it Alteria? I believe it's Alteria Pendragon. I don't know if I pronounced that wrong. So we did get this in. I know this one's been pretty popular too. This line actually has done really well for Bandai, from what I've been told.
Oh, nice.
So I know that they're going to keep making the heroes. They made some of the what are they called? So these are the servants. I've watched one Fate series. The masters, I guess, the regular mage people or whatever. So, but I know Bandai's told us that line's done pretty well. So I know they're going to continue, making those, which is nice.
Yeah, that's cool. Interesting to hear. Because if I would have had to guess, I would have guessed, it's kind of like probably doing okay, probably not that great. But I mean, I know Fate is huge in Japan, and there's a lot of fans worldwide, but I wouldn't have guessed that it's really that popular outside of Japan. But that's cool.
Yeah, I know here, in the figure world, anyways, it's like there's literally a new Fate figure every other day getting announced.
Yeah, totally, right.
And I know they do pretty well, the figures for us, anyways, for Fate.
Nice.
It's not as popular as DBZ, but it's still pretty good, popular thing. We did get the new Haijiro Boshi, and you can correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah, that's basically
okay. So this just came in too. So anyone that did pre-order any of these, we are getting them out as fast as we can. So just be patient. If you don't get an email today, you should hopefully get one by the end of this week. That your pre-order is getting shipped out. But I think this one will be pretty cool too. Again, I haven't built any of these. I don't think you just built this one. Okay.
I was just gonna say I just built it two nights ago, so nice. I haven't done my review on it yet. Actually, that's my plan. After our show, I plan on working on my review. Yeah, that'll be out very soon. Awesome. I was actually surprised building the kit. It's actually, seeing it in person, it's a little bit bulkier than I had imagined from the pictures. So if you wanted a little bit more kind of bulky IBO Gundam, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. And this is from that video game, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So I don't know if I hope they make more. I know a lot IBO here, I know in the States is pretty popular. So they usually do pretty well with sales wise, but I always personally like the IBO designs. I always thought it was cool, all the mechanics and stuff they have showing.
The other great thing too about that kit that I noticed while building it was that they also changed the engineering of the way the parts go together on the forearm, because the forearm, it uses the same Gundam frame as the other Gundams, but the only new parts of the frame are basically in the forearm, because it has the part on the back of the arm where the weapon's attached, and it kind of like rotates onto like the side or the back. So it's a kind of interesting part. But the good thing is that the armor parts fit on there now without any seam line. So the armor part that goes on the front of the arm is just one solid piece. Whereas with pretty much all the other Gundams in the line are two halves, and you have a seam line right on the front of the forearm, which is kind of annoying for HG kits. So that's great. You don't have to worry about that seam line there on the arm. That's good. It's still got a couple in like on the top of the shoulder and kind of your normal places, but in general, it's better than the other ones in the line have been. So that's good.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited to see your review on it.
It's a nice kit, definitely.
We did get a few 30-minute mission kits. This is a new ground type, the All Durab Alto. They did have the desert one. This one I like a little bit better. Actually, I like the colors on it. All Durab's more, I guess, militaristic, which is cool. We did get a bunch of armor sets too in. So if you were wanting to get those, they should be off a pre-order, a bunch of them, or be live on the website pretty shortly as soon as we get through. I think we still have 18 or 16 pallets still to kind of get put away. So keep an eye for that. Once everything's put away, we'll get an email out for what stuff did come in stock, restocked, and then what all the brand new kits that did come in. So keep an eye out for that.
A couple things. First off, the one thing I was thinking about now that you mentioned about how well the Petit Traits kits are doing is I've always thought that for the Figurized Labo line, that it would seem like a really good option for Bandai to go with a Fate character for that line. Seems like it'd be a really good fit. So if the Petit Traits line is doing that well, I mean, it makes me kind of think that even more so now if they are going to be continuing with the Labo line, which it's kind of hard to say if they're going to be continuing the line or not. I think the releases are so far spaced out apart, I kind of don't really know. Are they going to do another one or?
Yeah, I know. I don't know how well the Labo line's done for. I know the first one we got, the first Fumina, sold extremely well here in the States. The second one, we still have plenty of them, so they didn't sell out. But I remember talking to you, and I thought you said they were all gone, the second wave of them over there. Because I think a while ago you were surprised that we still had some in stock.
Yeah. I think it was something like that. Yeah, I don't remember. But and then they released the alternate color version of the Fumina as well too. And yeah, I think maybe it was that.
Yeah, that
we were talking about.
We still have those in stock. And they did the I don't know if it was a Cinderella Girl or not a Cinderella Girl, was it Love Live Girl, something like that?
Yeah,
one of those.
Love Live. I forget her name. I've got that down here. I forget what her name was. Kotori Minami. There you go.
And the
Miku one. Yeah. Oh yeah. And the Miku one, I would imagine, probably would have sold pretty well as well too. A lot of Miku fans up there.
Yeah, that one did pretty well. So, they definitely could do a Fate one. I think the Fate one would do pretty well if they.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see where they go with that line. I quite like the line because it's pretty cool. Because for figure fans, basically, you can still get that result. But for people who like me, who don't like to buy something that you just take out of the box and just put it on the shelf immediately, I like to be able to actually build something. It's great for me as well too. So I mean, whether you're a fan of building things or not, even if you're not, it's not that complicated thing to build. And it's certainly cheaper. They are a little bit expensive, but definitely cheaper than like your usual PVC figures. So I would imagine there should be kind of a good crossover of fans that they can reach with that line, but
we'll see.
We shall see. Yeah. And the other thing too, that before we move on, then I wanted to we were talking about this before we started, but just to let everyone know about what's going on with the Masquerade EX.
Oh yeah. So we put them up for October estimated arrival, and I know a lot of people were wondering that because the release date was actually September. So because they are such a more, I guess, intense kit to produce, there's a lot of runners with it. You have the LED set. It does take up a lot of capacity from Bandai, from what I was told, to make those. We will be getting them in waves. The first wave I was told should be here next week. We'll get those shipped out, and then we'll get another wave mid-October and end of October. And it's actually going to be that way for all the U.S. companies. The major ones, us and the two or three other, big online retailers, your mom and pops that order one or two, what I was told should be able to get their one or two. But us bigger stores that order hundreds of these kits, they will come in waves, but we'll have them all out by hopefully the beginning of November is what Bandai told me. So keep an eye out for emails. We'll be getting them like every week and getting them shipped out every week. So
it's all, I mean, you have those all going out usually first come, first serve, right? So if you pre-order early, then you should get yours before other people. Or if you pre-order it later and you see other people online starting to get theirs and you're wondering, hey, where's mine? Yeah, that's probably why. So
also we are sold out of our first batch of pre-orders that are coming. So anyone that orders now will be ordering for January, and I believe that's the same for most other stores. Just because, like I said, Bandai's capacity level, they just aren't able. They got to allocate their resources to make other kits too. Otherwise, the only thing we'd be getting restock wise are these Master Grade EX kits. So, but just be patient. If you do cancel an order, do know that if you want it, we had one person that canceled it and then wanted to get back his order, but he wasn't able to get it till that January one. So,
Yeah. Keep that in mind. All right, cool. Good to know. All right. Now, like I mentioned before, I want to take a look at some of these new kits because, of course, I talked about them a little bit in the news video, but I can't spend 10 minutes talking about a single kit on there. It'd be a little bit ridiculous. So I want to take a look at some of these pictures here and see what we can see. Some cool stuff to kind of point out if you look at these pictures in detail here. So we'll first up take a look at the Master Grade Wing Gundam Zero EW Verka. And the naming of them is so weird. I can always get it kind of mixed up. The Wing Zero Custom MG Verka, new one that's coming out anyway. A couple things. I was looking at this picture and I noticed that the panel lining on this looks to be done in a couple of different colors.
Yeah.
You can see like on the forearm here and then like on the underside of the shoulder armor there, it's in like a kind of brownish tan kind of color. But then on the top of the shoulder and on like the face and on the wings, you can see the panel lining is actually done in light purple, which I mean, I'm not really sure why they did that, but
yeah.
It looks great because usually, for Kotoki kits, his white, the white usually either like very pure white or it's slightly purple tinted, especially in like not the plastic. The plastic is usually never has any purple tint to it itself, but it's usually just like the artwork you see on the front of the box and like the sample builds like this in the photography and stuff. So using that light purple panel lining on there looks great, I think, on the face and the wings and stuff.
It looks good, and it looks. I mean, they got pretty good. Not pretty good. It looks like really decent color separation. You got different blues there.
Yep.
A lot of little details, right there in the chest with the little like fins and the vents. And if I remember correctly, those pull up too, like the shoulders for the Gatling guns.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed the little 4 fins there, like with the unicorn. They added those on the design too. Yeah, I've added them on here as well too. I know some people had said they don't like that part added to the design, so I wonder if there's people who are also not digging that here on the wing as well too.
There might be. There's always someone not going to like something, and other people are going to like something. So
sure.
But
I don't know if I've ever.
Are those two? That's just one piece, right? Right there where your cursor's at. That's not 2 different grays. That's probably just the shadowing.
Shadow or just painted. I'd imagine.
That would be one.
That doesn't look like it's a separate piece, like poking through. It could be, but it looks like it's probably just hit with a little bit of light gray paint in there or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever noticed this on any other version of the Wing Zero Custom that it has red at the base of the neck as well too. That's cool. Nice little dash of red in there. Yeah. I was also looking at the decals. The decals don't look very good, but I was thinking that's probably just because this is like an early production of the kit, so the decals aren't the actual final version of that, but like they look very thin. Grainy. And like the color's not very bright of them,
Yeah.
And also the text is completely illegible. It's just a smush.
It's a blob
or something. I mean, obviously, like the super small text is always going to be kind of like that, but you should at least see a little bit better definition than that. These look like they were just kind of very low quality printed, probably just for this sample, just to give you the idea. But as far as like the style of the decals, I'm not really particularly a big fan of this. This is kind of like real grade style markings for this, and like all the big sections of white, I'm not really that into, to be honest. What do you think about that?
When I build them, I don't generally use these kind of decals. I'll just use mostly like warning. I mean, some of these are warning ones, but like the big panel, like white panel ones, I don't usually do on my kits. I don't mind it. I mean, it I guess adds a different aesthetic for who ever likes that kind of stuff. I guess. Yeah.
There's just seems to be a lot, and I think it's maybe just because this particular close-up photo we're seeing a lot. On other sections of the kit, there's probably not quite as much.
Yeah, and then do we know, is this is part of their well, I can't think of the advertising thing. Is it the next or evolution or something like that?
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah,
Gunpla Evolution Project.
Yeah, Evolution. Is this is part of that, if I remember correctly, but I don't remember what I thought it was. I'll look it up.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that, actually. I don't think I've seen anything about that. The other thing that I'll just point out while you're checking on that to everyone too is if you haven't noticed, the ear part separates. And I think that was something that they started with the Robot Damashi, I think I heard that the Robot Damashi had that, and like that's kind of where that started, and they brought it to the new MG here. So I think if you look like here on this photo, you'll see that's closed up like how we typically see that.
Nice.
But I think it's supposed to be for like when the zero system is active, then you're supposed to open that part up on there on the head. So that's cool.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and nothing comes up, so it probably isn't part of that project.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that, and usually they'll like put a label on there.
Yeah.
Not on any of these photos though. That would usually be on like the photo, kind of like the kind of montage, big like announcement picture that you'd see that would have that logo on it, which I don't think we've seen for this kit necessarily.
The only thing I saw was like a banner that had some stuff on it, but yeah, there's not been like a a montage. They do really good with those with like P Bandai kits, where they make the nice, but then like regular release kits kind of get the short change.
Yeah. They don't have that those big nice kind of like poster images that you get with this.
Yeah.
But let's see, here are other photos. I also seen, and I guess like the Bandai Korea site, I don't know if the Bandai Japan also did this, but the Bandai Korea YouTube channel or something like that did like a hands-on kind of review of this, like, and I haven't watched that yet, but apparently there's certain gimmicks in there that are like basically specifically meant for doing certain poses like this. So I guess like some like armor or like a frame locking mechanisms to help it do certain poses like this.
That's cool.
Yeah, that'll be quite useful. Because the original Master Grade, if any of you guys ever had the original Master Grade, I actually think it's not that bad. I think it's still pretty good for its age. It certainly has a lot of trouble doing this pose, though. Can't really do it very well. So
the arms kind of flop down, probably. And
it can't really hold on to the rifles at all. And I want to skip to this photo here. What do you think about the folding beam rifle in the wing gimmick? That's new.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it gives a place if you only want to use one gun type thing. So you're not, it's not on your display shelf and it's just sitting there on the shelf next to it. I always liked when Bandai does things like that, places for you to put weapons that aren't being used on kits. It feels a little bit more real, or as real as I guess the Gundams can be.
Right, sure. Yeah, definitely. I get what you mean. That's true. I hadn't really thought about that. Because, personally, like, usually the poses are like this, or with like the final shot pose, or you often see it with both rifles. But I kind of like prefer with just the one rifle.
Right.
So that's not a bad idea, actually. Just have one stored up in the wing and one in hand.
Yeah, I always like when you watch Gundam 2, like they put their gun away and you don't ever know where it went, and then all of a sudden it's all of a sudden in their hand again, 2 frames from there. So I don't know, it just kind of gives that's just, I guess, my opinion, gives a little bit more, hey, where do things go, where do things actually fit mechanically into it, for I guess geeks like me that want to know all that stuff.
I want to say I'd have to go back and look at the real grade again, but as far as I can remember, this is the first time that the knee armor has split apart like that. Usually just the knee armor is one solid piece, but it's split into 2 pieces actually for the knee armor there. And I don't remember ever seeing any other version of the wing that did that.
I'm pretty sure the real grade does not do that.
Yeah.
I'm 99.9% sure it doesn't.
So that's pretty cool. I remember like the one image that really sticks in my mind about the perfect grade was that like image that's on the side of the box with showing like the leg bent. It's like doing the kind of dashing pose and showing like how great the bend of the knee is.
Yeah.
And I mean, this one, as you would imagine, certainly has a really great knee bend as well too. It looks really cool. All the armor separation there in the leg does look quite nice.
Yeah, it does look good. Toe bends, it looks like. It looks like a solid. And when you go up too, the wings on this look pretty good too. I'm curious to actually get it in hand and see how well those wings actually are. But the wings look pretty decent as well. It looks like they've got pretty decent articulation there with each feather, and then the back wings there kind of it looks like they open up more. What it looks like. I believe that might close from the other pictures that I saw.
Yeah, it should. Well, at least you can see here in the transformation. Anyway,
Close there. Yeah.
I like that they brought that from the real grade as well too. The separation here of the front wings, having that kind of separate part there. Yeah. And it looks like the back part as well too. But they got rid of kind of like the smaller details. The RG had that kind of hexagonal kind of detail section on there as well too.
Yeah.
That was kind of take it or leave. I didn't mind it that much, but I think probably a lot of people would prefer it like this than like with the RG. This is more anime accurate.
Right.
So yeah, I do think the wings do look good. I'm sure the feathers are not going to be soft like the PG. The MG was like that too, right?
I believe so. Yeah, these look like they're going to be solid.
Yeah, just hard plastic. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah. I'm hoping they don't end up doing anything with soft plastic for those as well too. Hopefully, they learned their lesson and just like it was a cool idea, but not really necessary. But it doesn't seem like they are. They look like they're just solid pieces, which is hope for the best. It's got a little seam line there on the back wing though, which is unfortunate that that's the case for that.
Yeah.
It would have been, for the best, I think, if like this section of the wing, like the feathers, like just we have like the main part of the top, and like just below that, this kind of like 3 feather sections there. If like those were the 2 halves that fit together, and then that main top part is just like a cap piece that just fits over the top of that without any seam on it. Yeah. Seems like that could have worked, but I'm not a kit designer, so I could be wrong.
Right.
Ideally, that's what it would have been, but it's not what we got, unfortunately. So we'll have that big seam line on those wings still, but I can't tell if that extends all the way down. The old Master Grade has the seam all the way, and this one
does look like. I mean, at least halfway down that. But you would assume that, I mean, maybe it's not the full piece. The other side, like the back side, I'm trying to look and see on the other wing there, but maybe it's only part of that it snaps in, and then one side actually goes all the way down, but I can't really tell.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. I think this is probably the best image we have of that too. Yeah, it does kind of look like it goes all the way. I think it's just kind of my wishful thinking that it maybe doesn't, but probably maybe it does. And there is this attachment point here on the back skirt, but what would that be for? I don't know. Just for part of how this connects to the action base, because we can't really see that. You can see it here.
Yeah, that might. Yeah, you can't really tell if the action base. It doesn't look like the action base goes between the legs like normal.
It looks like it's more just at the back of the waist so that you can do this pose, because that's what they do on like kits that have poses like this where the legs need to be really close. They'll put the connection towards the back of the waist.
Right, because that was on the upper back, upper lower back.
Yeah.
That little peg hole. So I don't know. Maybe another spot to put a gun. I don't know.
Or if the action base has a kind of larger connection piece that kind of slots on the underside as well as kind of plugs in there as well too, just to like kind of really hold it on there, because it does need to be really well attached onto an action base compared to other stuff. I mean, we're doing certain poses where you have everything all spread out like that, or like the shooting pose. You're going to want like a really good solid connection on that.
Yeah.
So it could be related to that, I think. I also don't. I wish that there was a way for like when you don't have the rifle stored underneath the wing to like fold in that connection part there, because it looks kind of ugly.
Yeah.
Just on its own when nothing's there. I wonder how difficult it is to remove that piece when it's built like that. But it looks like it's not very easy. Like it's kind of really built into that.
Yeah, it looks pretty like a thicker.
Mm-mm. So probably ultimately I'll see once I get the kit in hand and I kind of am able to check it out more. I'll see, but I could see myself likely, if I'm not going to use that, to just cut that off and omit that. Or like we're talking about, if I'm going to have one stored and one in hand, then the one that's not used, I'll just cut that off.
Is this are you able to click on the flight mode there? I just want to see if the action base is a standard action base, or if it in the bottom picture, I don't know, you barely see anything. I don't know.
Looks like it's the one that came with the
special one, right?
The 13, I think it is, that comes with the Fenichiro Nishida.
Yeah, so this might come with its own action base.
Yeah, I hadn't seen. I don't think I've seen any confirmation about that, but that would be nice. Hopefully, it does.
Yeah.
What do you think about the transformation?
Looks good. I mean, your standard wing.
Yeah.
This every time when I first saw the images when I was scrolling through Facebook when Bandai finally announced it or not announced it but finally put up stuff, I thought it was just the high res one and when at first glance. But this I mean the transfer, what's the difference? Oh, that has the top wings. Okay, I was trying to find out what the difference was in the two pictures.
Yeah, I don't really know what the. I guess there's two forms. One's probably like the high speed form or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Or maybe this might be for like atmospheric reentry to have the wings like
below
guarding the front. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. No, I think it. I think they did a good job. I'm interested to see actually how the transformation works. You know, you can. There's one thing seeing it transform. There's another thing actually doing the transformation. So.
Yeah, it's a relatively simple transformation as far as wing kits go, right? But it could, any transformation can lead to things getting kind of floppy and weird. So,
yeah, I know the original Master Grade was not bad transformation. It was pretty solid.
You mean like the TV wing Gundam?
The Endless Wall, the other version of this. Oh, no, the other version of this doesn't transform. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Right. It doesn't transform. So, but you're probably talking
the TV version. One
did the Proto Zero transform? Proto Zero doesn't transform, right? Does it?
I think so.
That's one I've always kind of wanted to build, but I've never actually built one.
I don't think it does actually. I'm trying to remember it. I think the only one that does is the TV version. Because even the Endless Waltz version without the wings, that one, I don't think that one transforms either.
Oh yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, that would the original Verkov.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the shield as well too. I'm quite a fan of the shield. I like it. That also not anime accurate for people who wanted to look just like it was from the anime. It's easy enough to just omit that if you don't care about it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times too with newer kits like this one, the wing anime it's an older anime, so you're not going to get all the newer kind of anime. You got to look at Gundam Unicorn for example. That anime had good. You look at the actual Gundams. There's different colors on them. It's not just one blob of color. So the anime styles at the time too kind of restrict what I guess could have been done if it was made nowadays. If that makes sense. So
yeah,
maybe this is what it would have looked like if Gundam Wing was made now.
Yeah, and I think I'd read somewhere about that like it's a design as well too that it's like one of Katoki's favorite, like personal favorites of his design. That's why there's been many versions of it and everything, right? And so one that he often goes back and works on, so that's why it's kind of like evolved over time. There's been changes because it's just Katoki changing stuff that he wants to change. So fair enough. I don't mind it. Yeah, I like it because I always liked the shield of the Wing Zero in the TV series, and I think again the Proto Zero also has a similar looking shield.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like it. I like that shield design. So yeah, ultimately that's probably what I would do with mine, something like this, but with one of the rifles, just one of the rifles, one stored, one shield. That'd probably be ideal for me. But
yeah.
Anything else you can find on here? I think it's going to be very nice.
Yeah, it's interesting because you look at the foot there.
Mm.
Yeah, the toe. We saw the toe was bending in the other picture, so so that definitely will bend.
You can see a little. You can see where it's
Yeah.
broken there a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to see on like the standing picture here how long the toe is. It's not a super long foot necessarily.
No. I think they did a decent job with the proportions of it too.
Yeah. I like it. Definitely. Oh, you can see that panel line or the seam line there. On the back.
Real good right there. Yep.
Man, that's a shame. But I mean, like I said, I'm no designer. A lot of times when I'll like complain about seam lines or something like that, on like how a kit is designed in that way, I have to just kind of try to remember that, you know, they're the professionals. If there was like a better way to do it without that, I'm sure they would have tried to figure it out. And a lot of times, I don't know, it kind of seems like they could have figured it out, but I don't know. It's whether they, I don't know. It would cost more, so they want to avoid that. And they also kind of, because as we know, Bandai engineers a lot of their stuff without necessarily like modelers in mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They still try to make all their kits as friendly as possible to everyone. So, you know, I would think like if it was like a company if they were more focused on like the modelers out there, I don't know if they would care more or less about having seam lines like that on the parts, because they think, well, they'll figure it out, or they would care to make it in a way without that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. And I was surprised that it's as cheap as it is. I was expecting it to be a little bit more expensive than it was actually. So it seems like a very fair price.
Yeah. It's what was it
around
like
around $50, something like that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that's not bad at all. I mean it's was the real grade Sotheby's pretty much right there.
Yeah. Right around the same, if not slightly more. But yeah. Not too bad at all, especially after the Mgex and the next MG after that being a kind of big sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Wallet for MG fans. That'd be nice. And then also just want to take a look. We have much less to go off here with the Zeong, but I guess kind of enough, really. But I believe these are all still just CG renders too. We're not actually seeing photos of the kit yet.
Right. I believe so. This definitely looks like a CG render. But I mean, if it has the separation like this is showing, it'll be pretty cool. You've got different yellows there. You got the green in the arms, all the little grays in the. So hopefully this is. I mean, I'm sure some of this you'd have to paint like they. But.
Yeah, like maybe these kind of really tiny. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. These little tiny bits of orange.
Yeah.
Here, those dots of orange. Those will probably be like your like RG style stickers, like the little metallic stickers that you kind of stick on there.
Yeah.
I would guess. Yeah, likely that's what those will be. But yeah, the two-tone, like this light gray, you can see like around here on the skirt, especially the arms. Like I said, the two-tone blue looks nice, and a little bit of purple there, and these kind of cannons there on the front looks nice. So yeah, all the coloring of it looks great, and I'd seen other people also pointing out as well, just like you said with the arms, how you got kind of greenish gray, yellow, orange, gray, light gray, lighter gray, a lot of different colors going on in there. And it really reminds me a lot of the Sotheby and just like the style of details for it.
Yeah.
You've got this kind of the way that these panels separate is just like the Sotheby's leg.
Yep.
Right. And just these little kind of details with like the bits of frame poking out through the armor is like just like the Master Grade the RG Sotheby kit. Right. So yeah, it's very reminiscent of that, which is good. It's a great kit. If it's anything like that, that'll be fantastic. I'm contemplating with mine. My plan is to actually swap out the head for an RG Zaku head. I think that'll be an interesting kind of kit bash.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's what I'm thinking to do with mine. Never really been a fan of the Zeong, and a lot of that I think is just because of the head.
Yeah.
So goofy looking. Although I think this version of it definitely is the best looking version of it compared to the HG and the MG.
Yeah, and HG and MG are old kit. I know the Master Grade's super old. And they haven't even reproduced that kit in years too. So when Bandai told me they were making this, I was kind of shocked.
Yeah, it was very out of left field.
Yeah.
I was surprised as well.
And I know they've changed the way different things, especially the DX set. I know they changed from their initial say what was going to be in it to what they actually put in it, which is actually, I think, part of their capacity issue that they were having. So
yeah, and just we should also take a minute to remind everyone as well too about that is that's going to be, I think you mentioned on the last show or the show before that too, that's going to be just a limited thing. So if you did want the kind of the, what's it called,
the DX
final
set, the special final
shooting effect
set,
whatever, if you want that, get it right away, because you're not going to be able to get it later, or you'll be paying much more for it later. So we'll talk about those pictures here in a minute. But the other thing I just wanted to talk about here is the hands. It's kind of hard to tell. It looks like the individual joints, like the end piece is like one solid piece, but like the I guess depending on which way you go, the second or third,
right?
The in-between joint parts look like it's kind of like a C shape. Maybe so you have like the frame part and it just kind of fits onto there like that. It looks like.
Yeah, you can definitely see that.
Like here.
Yeah. Like
maybe.
Yeah. So then each finger should, have what, at least 2-3 points of articulation.
Oh yeah. I would assume, yeah. It looks like that. They're pretty well articulated. It almost looks like they're even, they're supposed to have big hands, yeah, but the fingers especially almost look like they're even larger and longer than usual. And maybe that's because of how they tried to make them more articulated. But I think maybe if they were less articulated, they wouldn't need to be quite as big. I don't know. In the pictures, they look
massive.
Yeah, quite big. I don't know. And maybe it is very normal. Like I said, no, it normally has big hands, but I'd have to look at it like side by side with like the MG.
Yeah.
To see just how much bigger they are or not. And I wonder if the mono eye will be able to go up in the head as well too. We haven't seen that. Obviously, I'm sure it'll go side to side, but if it will be able to move up along the track on the top of the head as well too.
That'd be cool.
Let's see. For it to be able to do that. Like looking up, and obviously the head will be able to detach from there, of course, as well too. I'm wondering here on the back if that center piece is maybe a detachable piece for being able to attach an action base onto the back of it.
Yeah, because we don't get a single picture at all of like an action base style, but these are CG images, so you're not going to.
Yeah, here you can see the underside, and I'm sure there will be an attachment point up under here.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, and I just kind of wonder if it will have some sort of like you can see something here. It's kind of hard to tell what that is.
The landing.
Yeah. If it'll, or here it is. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh, we can see it there. I didn't really notice that.
Yeah.
So it does have these kind of like landing gear bits, which I assume will just be separate parts that you just put in there. It's not something like a working gimmick that opens and closes probably. It'll probably just plug that on there if you want to have it standing up. So that's cool.
Yeah.
You don't have to have it on an action base. That's nice.
Have it like sitting docked, landed.
Yeah. So I assume if you did want to plug it onto an action base, it's probably like the same place where you plug this part on there, the back one, I assume probably. It's where you can plug that up onto an action base. It
would be neat if like the front, chest piece there, because the cockpit is in the head, if I remember correctly. So it'd be neat if that was like an opening hatch.
This little one?
Yeah. Instead of just a piece you stick in, if you could actually open that, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it does look like that's there for something, right?
Yeah.
does seem to be the case. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about the effect set here. You can see it on action base, but you still can't really tell exactly where it's plugged in. But all the effects for the Xiong itself look pretty great. You have all this. So you have basically these, you can see the 5 thin ones here on the side are for the hands, left hand, right hand. The big ones are for up underneath the skirt. And these, which ones? Oh no, those kind of,
those are for the arms.
There are for the arms, yeah. This one around there.
Yep.
But what about these at the bottom? Those also go up underneath the skirt.
I think those are under the skirt as well.
See a bunch of those. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then you've got the hand and the damaged pieces for the RX-78 neck and shoulder pieces there, it looks like.
Yep.
These, what are those two yellow ones there? Oh, for the head here.
Yeah.
Like that. For the beam cannon out the mouth. And these parts here for the Gundam's beam rifle.
Yeah.
They're like that. I mean, it looks cool. Like I mentioned last time, though, I mean, these parts are pretty lame.
Yeah, these are cool. Just you can get these parts. They're the 30-minute mission like hanger,
it's
stands.
Customized scene base. That's how I got mine over there.
Yeah, that's what those are.
I mean, they're just there for the background, and you don't even need to have them there if you want, or maybe you do actually. It looks like that actually the head needs to be plugged onto there, so you will actually.
Yeah, I never saw that. Yeah. Huh.
That's a shame. So you will have to use those, otherwise you'll have to make something, on your own, a really long wire going up to the top of there or something. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess, why they had to use these. But yeah, it's just because they're like, you can't see it in these pictures, and Bandai's tricking you. Let me see. But I talked about this in my review. I did a review including them in. Let's see. Sorry for the noise. On these panels, it's going to be kind of hard to see. I'll do my best to show you guys here, but if you care to check it out, you can see in my review as well too. Let me steal the camera there. This is what we'll see. On the back is just plain nothing. This is what's on the inside there, and you can see those circle bits in there. See if it'll focus.
Yep.
In between, there you go. You see those little circles from the mold pins. Yeah, have fun getting those out. I don't know how you're gonna do that. Fill that in with putty on the inside of there, and then have to clean that up in between. And you got loads of them. There's 20 of those holes you have to fill, if not more, on just one of these panels. And for this final effect set here, you've got 4 of those panels with all those holes in there.
Wow.
Not great.
Didn't know they had those on there. I know that they were originally made for the 30-minute mission kits. I know those are kind of cheaper kits, and I don't think they really cares that much. Not that they don't care, but takes that much care into how the molding works or how they're made, just because they're supposed to be mass produced and mass shelled out for cheap.
Yeah, it's just supposed to be something for the background. And what you could do is if you just painted it just like a really dark gray, it won't be that noticeable, right? And it's just there in the background. It's not that big a deal, to be honest. But still, it was Corey had a good idea here in the chat. He said just cut pieces of plot plate to fit in there like inserts and cover them up. Yeah, you could do that. That's a lot of plot plate cutting though still. I mean, just to fill all those in. I mean, no matter how you do it, it's going to be an annoying amount of work to cover those up. But I would probably just opt on the side of trying to just hide it and just paint those parts black or something. Yeah.
So the only parts for the real grade RX-78 are the neck part and
Mm-hmm.
then the effect part that come out of the gun, correct?
Yeah, the trigger finger hand, the neck,
Okay.
and the shoulder.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
wonder how hard it would be to put that into the high grade version or something like that, or like the origin
Mm.
version. I wonder if that would
Oh,
be difficult.
yeah, it wouldn't be hard at all. No, yeah, definitely. Because the neck and the shoulder pieces, I'm sure you just stick that on there.
Yeah.
Where the head and the neck joint would be, just omit those parts of the high grade or whatever you're using, and just stick that on there. And the shoulder piece as well too would be pretty simple, I imagine, to stick in there. And the hand, you don't need to use this particular hand. You just use whatever hands with that kit. The problem is how the effect part would fit onto the rifle might not be the same, but it also should be probably pretty close.
You would think.
So if you did want to use the high grade instead of the real grade, yeah, definitely you could. The G30th high grade is a high grade that I don't think gets enough love for how great it is. I love the G30th version of the high grade, and it's very detailed. Like the exterior detail of it is like almost the same as the real grade. It just obviously doesn't have as much engineering inside, and the actual part separation is not there. But if you're painting it, who's to say? Because on the exterior, it's kind of like a RE kit. It looks like a master grade on the outside. Right. It's just not. It's the same thing like with that. So the G30th, I don't know if they're that easy to get though. They're probably not in production much.
No, I don't think we've had them in a while. I would say at least 2 years, maybe more. I haven't seen that one come through in a bit.
Yeah. So that's the Zeong. It's gonna be pretty cool. For me personally, probably will just not bother with the effect set. Don't know if it's something that I'm really that into myself. I'm not that a big fan of the Zeong, but if you are, it does look cool. Truly. I wonder how this stand plugs into the hand there. Almost kind of looks like that's like a attached like kind of onto the wrist, kind of, doesn't it? Like it's maybe like a little kind of thing that just kind of slots up into place between the hand and the forearm.
Maybe. Looks like it's a little bit further. I don't know. I can't tell if it's further back than that though. Because you got the thumb there, and then it looks like that part is behind the thumb.
It does, yeah.
I don't know, but we didn't see any sort of notch or anything in that other picture or the under, unless the hand was just turned and it wasn't showing us the underarm there, maybe.
Yeah, in this photo, you can't really see much on the inside of the hand. Kind of, you can see there's some holes there, so maybe that's where it's like a piece, like a flat piece with like multiple little pegs that just kind of plug up into there. It could be.
Yeah.
I also kind of am a little bit doubtful about this arm being able to hold that up, because this arm of the base is very weak. Can't really hold up. It can hold up like a really simple effect part, but to be able to hold up this big section here with all these effect parts and everything plugged onto there. I mean, maybe the wire is helping a little bit too. But you definitely would probably want to put some glue on those joints of that stand to be able to actually hold up that arm.
Yeah, I don't know how much that wire really would be helping there.
Yeah. So, I mean, the separation of those parts there, the skirt looks great, though. You can see all the detail inside there. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So that's the Zeong. And what is it? The 8th, October 8th is when we're meant to get the full reveal of the PG as well, too. So hopefully in the next episode, we can take a look at some pictures of that. But we'll see if they're going to put out pictures like at the same time, or if it'll just be the video they'll have online for a while, and then we'll get pictures, a little bit later, or how that goes.
We'll see.
But let's go ahead and get to some of your guys' questions here. So like I said, we've got a couple that we'll go through here that were posted on the community tab and then on the Facebook page. I'm not sure if there's any on the Facebook page yet or not. so far they're still not. So like I said, I was late to posting that. Sorry, guys. We'll take these from the community tab, and then we'll take some questions from you guys here live. So Amatsuo asked, if I had some items removed that just so happened to be pre-ordered, is the rest of the order not going to ship until you got that removed item in stock? So like, you get what do you mean?
Yeah. So no, if the item's removed, nothing's holding that order, so it'll get shipped out. Once that's removed, it'll go into our process to where the picker will pick the order. It goes into a tote, and then from the tote to the packer. So whatever that process is, it should get printed and shipped out to you shortly.
As long as everything in the order is there,
right,
then it should be out, right?
Yeah.
Even if something was canceled. Zero Blade said, any idea when any of the HG Zulu kits will be available? Like different unicorn HG kits, basically.
You can send us an email and I can look. I've got a list of stuff that's going to be made and reproduced all the way to, I want to say March of next year now. Or what's planned. Things do change, so if you do, but the best thing, just send us an email and I can definitely get that answer to you.
Yep, there you go. Pursued said, will there be a restock of? He had a second part to his question. I forgot here. He also asked about the Gundam Pro Factory books.
So those should, from what I last told, should be on their way the end of next month. They are delayed about a month, just like I think everything is because of the COVID. But he did say that his, not publisher, what's the companies that make the books? I can't think of that name. His printer or whatever they're called, should be printing the books this coming month. So the beginning of October. And he should have them shipped out by the end of October.
Okay. Cool. And then Pursued said, will there be a restock of the real graded new Gundam or the effects set?
So we have a restock of the new Gundam coming in next week. And then we actually just got real grade Sasabis this morning. We didn't get very many of them. We have another batch coming at I want to say the end of next week and maybe the week after. Just depends on transit time, but we did get some in this morning. So I believe they're still up for back order. So if you back order one, it'll probably ship out in the next 1 or 2 days if you do that now.
The effect set he's talking about is that it's actually a figurized effect set, but it's the one that can be used with the new Gundam.
Is it so there's, maybe he's talking, so if he's talking about the effect set that you get where there's like the little, for the funnel effect, like the back part, those we have in stock now. If he's talking about the effect set, like the DX set for the real grade new, the special box, I don't know. We do have another order in for them, but I don't know. Once those DX sets are done, they're kind of done. So it just depends on if Bandai wants to do one more run of them. Or if they just said, no, we're done doing it now. So best thing, you can sign up for an email and see if it comes back in stock.
Yeah, the nice thing about that set, though, is that you really don't need to buy them as a set. You can buy them separately, right? There's nothing additional that you get by buying them as the set. In his comment, he said this or that. So I assume he's talking about them separately.
We did, so you can get that. Yeah, there's nothing special. We do have these in that you can get for the Verka for the inside of the funnel effect sets. So we have ones that fit for the real grade and the master grade. So we do have those in stock too for the new for the inside the actual funnels. But yeah, the back part, where it's just like a booster effect. We have the blue. I think it's blue and yellow is what they have. And we have both in stock right now.
Yeah, those are really cool. Would you show those again too? For any of you guys watching who haven't seen these, this is like the old Verka, the old Hainu Verka. Not Verka, sorry. The old Hainu Master Grade, the original Master Grade Hainu, had that kind of like effect sheet. It was kind of not that great. That kind of goes between the funnels. but this is like a much better version of that. Basically, an actual like clear 3-dimensional part, not just a clear plastic sheet.
Yeah, we have a display of one, and we put them in there, and these look really, really good in it. I definitely recommend getting those if you want to
Nice.
pose your funnels not attached flying around. Those are a must get for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And they're just plain clear too, so you guys can paint them in some clear paint, whatever color, blue, yellow, whatever. I don't think they're supposed to be bluish officially.
Purplish. Yeah,
I think. Yeah, something like that.
yeah.
All right, and then one more here from the community tab. What is the ETA on the GN Arms E and Flame Toys Optimus Prime?
And GN Arms 3.
E.
E.
It's just that big. The
Oh,
big
from
HG kit.
Yeah,
Double
from Double O. Thanks. We had a bunch come in. I want to say 2 months ago. We've got more on order. That let's see here, because I don't think they're for back order right now, but I know we have them on order. Oh, they are on back order. When are we supposed to get these in next time? The end of October.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the Flame Toys Optimus Prime, was it the one he was asking about?
The G1, I'm assuming. We got half of our order, and we're getting the other half in shortly, from what I was told.
All right. Cool. Sorry, I was closing that tab there off. That's all the questions we had from that. I want to go back. We'll go through some of your guys' questions here then live in the live chat. Let's get to some of these. So if you've been asking, thanks for your patience. We'll get to these here. We talked about this earlier, so I'm guessing Nicholas came in later, but just for those of you guys who also came in late, he said he saw folks getting the MGX Unicorn, the pre-order shipping soon. No one who has the MGEX so far has not got it from anywhere in the US. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. So I know some Japanese stores got them already and have shipped them out.
Obviously, here in Korea, we have them as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends on your proximity to Japan. If you're near Japan, you got them already. US being farther, so they're
on the way.
You got at USA Gundam Store, and then other places in the US wouldn't have those yet in any sort of mass amount. Let's see. Dan also asked, will you be getting any more PG Mazingers available to order? I'm guessing he's talking about the mega size one.
Yeah, the 160 scale. So we are still waiting on our full order that we had a long time ago when the world fell apart. Yeah. I know they're on the list for Bandai to continue making to fill, because I believe there's other stores still waiting for all theirs as well. I think everyone kind of got shorted on that. So from what I was told, there should be more, hopefully shortly.
Okay. Yeah. People keep asking about that. It's an awesome kit. I hope you guys can get some more in so people can enjoy that one. But yeah, understandable. All right. Ramiro asks, usually when do back order items arrive?
So we usually put up stuff on back order once we have a confirmation from Bandai that they're coming in, and usually they'll arrive within 1 to 2 months of that confirmation. Now, sometimes things do happen where they get delayed or pushed back, but usually it'll go up and we'll get it in within like at least 60 days of the back order going live, and it'll say what month we expect it to come into on there.
Yeah. So basically, anything you mark as back order there on the site is something that you expect to get in, but sometimes they can be delayed, and the expected date can be pushed back and pushed back.
Yeah,
like with the kits, sort of.
Right, and we're not told right away, so we'll get we're told that this will be getting reproduced. We'll put an order for it, and then when our container ships, that's when we find out it's not on there, and then we'll have to ask, like, oh, this one didn't get pushed back. I wish there's a little bit better way for them to tell us this wasn't getting reproduced right then. It got pushed back to this month. So we're working on that with Bluefin and Bandai to get us that as fast as we can. I know there's sites out there that when they're sold out, they put up stuff for back order. I know HLJ is pretty good for the putting stuff on back order, and it's back order for like years and years.
Yeah.
So we try not to do that. We try to put it up for back order once we have a good idea that we are getting it in based on the information that we were provided.
Let's see. Bailey asked about the Gaia Notes restock.
So that in restock is the supplier here in the States got their shipment, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. We have our order in, and I actually emailed them yesterday because I hadn't heard anything, and they're still sorting through everything. So they should be getting us our restock shortly. It hasn't been shipped to us yet, so fingers crossed it'll be here within at least a week or two. Hopefully.
It's there in the US anyway. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
So it's all there. You can get it hopefully as soon as possible.
Yeah, because I know it's not just there's a bunch of people waiting to get that from that supplier. So
yeah, man, the paint companies like with models and everything as well too, with everyone being locked down, everyone's wanting to build more, but obviously a lot of people wanting to paint more as well too. So they got to try to keep up with demand, but yeah, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, like even it's crazy to think all the stuff that got delayed. I was talking to Scott over SMS, and we have an order in there, but he wasn't able to fill it. He's filling it now because they ran out of bottles. They didn't have bottles and couldn't get any bottles from anywhere because no one was making bottles. So things that you don't think about, can delay stuff. So.
Yeah, exactly. They can't just snap their fingers and just make some more out of nothing, right?
Right.
Everything's got to come from somewhere. All right. Rizwan, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Updates on the HG Heavy Arms and RG Ava 02.
Hopefully soon. They got. I think the real grade's released now in Japan. I want to say it is. I thought I saw that it was. So we should. I know they haven't been shipped to us yet. As soon as I know they're shipped to us, I can send out an email letting people know that they're arriving, within a week. But I would assume they'll be here pretty shortly. So I want to say like the cup noodle, the high grade heavy arms. I thought I saw pictures of all that getting released in Japan, but I haven't looked at the actual official release dates for those.
Yeah, the cup noodle has just recently been out as well too.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Thinking about how I want to custom paint that in some cool way. I'm not sure yet, but that'd be fun. I already seen one that was painted up. I think I shared this on Twitter, retweeted this. It was someone painted it as like a Monster energy drink kind of colors. It's like black and green.
That's cool.
And then the noodles on the inside were like a metallic green. So you can the front of the cup where the big label is, the big cup noodle label, whatever, you can remove that and you can see the noodles inside, and it's all just this metallic greens. So it looks really cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, it was nice. So that's kind of the only one that I think I've really seen so far. It's a kind of custom painted one. I expected we would have seen a lot, and I'm sure we still will. It's still pretty neat, right? Yeah. I'm sure we'll see some cool customs out of that. Definitely. Connor asked, does the MG RX-78 one-year war version ever get reprinted?
We had a reprint a few years ago. Here's the thing with Bandai. I don't think Bandai, from my knowledge, Bandai hasn't discontinued anything. They'll always reprint it based on demand. So they'll send us out what they think they should remake, and then all of the stores order, and then based on those orders, they'll deem if an older kit should be remade again. And then Bandai does a good job too about asking us what kits we haven't had in a while that we might want to be remade, and then that's what goes into those pots that get shipped to all the stores to see if everyone wants that. So I could order tons of one kit that I think will sell really well here, but if no one else in the world orders it, Bandai probably won't make it. So it's based on orders. I'm sure throughout the world because it goes into their production, which isn't just produced for us here in the States. It's produced all over. So, but that's how that works. So, yeah.
So yes, I mean basically, it does get reprinted in theory from time to time. Just who knows when the next one is going to be.
Right.
Dylan asked about the Aegis Knights. He said because he's waiting for an order to ship and he's just waiting on the Aegis Knights. But I believe you had gotten some of those in, but are those also maybe broken up?
No, we actually got our full order to when we got the containers. So it's here now. They're just probably in one of the pallets that might be in the back of our warehouse that we just haven't gotten to yet. So those should be shipping out pretty shortly. Okay,
cool. Sounds good. Reiji asked about the RG Xiang Deluxe version, the DX set. If those effect parts are exclusive and some do not, remember seeing some of the effect parts for the pink effect parts. I think what he's talking about, actually, I had one of those sets here. I think this is what he's talking about. It looks, oh no, it's not that one. Where's that? Oh no, I had it somewhere else. It's that if there was a 30 minutes missions effect set that has that kind of ring shaped part, and it looks similar to that, but it is definitely different. It's not exactly the same.
The only thing that I saw with effect parts are the smaller boost effects. That's the same, I think, boost effects that come with that high new effect part set. I think those are the exact same. The other effect parts, I mean, other than like the blade looking ones, those are probably just beam saber.
Yeah, the ones for the fingers do kind of look like they are probably just maybe some beam saber effect parts, kind of maybe from like some of the unicorn era HG kits had like the shorter beam effects, not the super long ones. Maybe they're those. Those ones might be recycled, but for the most part, those effect parts look entirely new.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Let's see. Will you restock a metal build Gundam?
Yeah, when Bandai makes more.
Yeah.
We actually the Metal Build Freedom, like the 2.0 version or the reimagined version, I forget what they called it, but we actually were able to get more of those. And we're able to actually get more of those is because Bandai gives us an allocation, so we're only allowed to order so many of those Metal Build kits because they are a limited item, and then Bandai keeps a certain amount of those kits, or Bluefin does, for conventions around the United States, and they'll sell them at the conventions. Well, there were no conventions, so we were able to get a bunch more of those, and I believe let's see if they're sold out. I know we sold most of them if they're not sold out. Yeah, we are sold out. So we do send out emails every now and then. We'll get new metal build kits. I know other stores will get them too. I believe someone I saw one of the other stores get some more of the Barbados robot Damashi, I think, kits, or robot spirits ones, the ones that went pretty good. The metal IBO, the Rex, Lupus Rex, thanks, there you go. So they got more of those in, so you just gotta keep an eye out. Every now and then Bandai finds stuff hidden far back in their warehouse here in the States, and they'll contact us. Hey, we found a case of this. Do you want it? And we never say no. So
nice. Yeah. John had a question here about any policies on mixing pre-order with in-stock items.
Yep. Policy is they will not ship until everything is in stock. So if you have a pre-order item and in-stock items, your pre-order item needs to arrive in order for everything to ship out. So we have to have the complete order, and then we'll ship it out, which is why we have that little checkbox there when you order pre-order, saying that you acknowledge that is what the case is. Now you can pre-order with in-stock items and then decide later you do want to split it, and we can split that. It is a little bit extra shipping fee because now it's 2 shipments instead of 1 shipment, but we can definitely do that and help you out if you decide later on you do want to split it and not want to wait for the in-stock or wait for the pre-order and you want your in-stock items.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, seems like kind of common sense, I guess. But I guess if you're ordering multiple things and like the stuff that's in stock, you wanted to get it straight away, just make 2 separate orders. Like you said, you'll pay for 2 shipping fees, but if you really wanted those or some part of the order sooner than later, just do that.
Yeah.
Have your pre-order just as a separate order like that. And let me see. I do want to, before we wrap up today, I did want to also just take a look at the Kotobukiya official Twitter page. Just kind of take a look at the new stuff coming from Kotobukiya as well, because there's a bunch of cool stuff that they announced this past week. But let me see. Just a couple more questions here from the chat. Lord also asked, are the black War Greymon kits in?
No, they did not come on this shipment. They should, from what I was told, be on our next container. That's coming in October.
All right. And then Michael was asking, I'll just put this up here briefly. Michael was asking about when the Mgex kits will be coming in. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, but just to reiterate, those should be coming in over the course of this month into the beginning of November. So depending on when you placed your pre-order, you should be getting it sometime during the course of this month. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be getting them in different shipments throughout October. So just keep an eye out on your email for shipping confirmation. If you ordered it right away, you'll get it right away. We'll ship them based on the order that we received them. So just kind of keep an eye out for that, but we'll get them in different stages through October.
Okay. Let's see. And we hear a couple of people asked about this too, related to orders with pre-order items. Basically also asking about the same thing with back order, but I guess it'd work the same way, right? Your order would be held until everything's in stock. So whether pre-order, back order, whatever and so like we were talking about, back order stuff can get pushed back for quite a long time. So again, I would just kind of, if I were you guys placing an order, I would order that separately just to be safe. You might be waiting for a while. And then also a couple people are also asking about the Gurren Lagann kits as well too. Mike and Gu also just asked about this.
From my understanding, they'll be here within a week or two. I know that they were the company that makes them, Sentinel, if I remember correctly, didn't realize they were going to sell as well as they did. So so they're busy making them. And when I asked about this like a week ago, they said that they should be here early mid-October. So
cool. Yep. Yeah, so it seems there are quite a lot of people excited about those.
Yeah,
definitely. All right. Then before we wrap up today, let's take a look at some new stuff on the way from Kotobukiya here. So this is on their Japanese page, so we'll have to deal with that, but it's all right on Twitter. This robot, I can't remember the name of this offhand. It is Sky Gold Run, or that's the series that it's from. Let's see, Golden Brave. There you go. This thing here, this guy, it's very Gundam-esque, sort of, in a way. I mean, not like your typical Gundam, but generally, kind of.
Yeah.
The wings remind me of the Zeus Gundam from G Gundam. I love it's got this alternate face that looks like a Lego face, doesn't it?
It does.
At first, when I first saw this, I was like, "Is this something like Lego related?"
That's funny.
But so I guess this is like, it's like one of those things where like the face just like turns around or something like that kind of thing. I'm not familiar with this anime or the source material at all, but if you're into this sort of aesthetic for your mecha, it looks cool. Not to my particular taste for me personally.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a, it does look more Gundam than what they've made. Does it have a chin like?
Yeah, it looks like that. Like that's what I mean. The face looks like your typical. I mean, obviously the Gundam's body style
is different.
It's not, but like it's kind of like the Musha Gundams, right?
Yeah.
Or the face and then like like upper arms, the thighs, all the joints is all like your kind of typical Gundam style. It's just like the decorative parts are different. So just strike me as along a similar vein as the Musha Gundam kits. So that will be coming out. And they had a couple of different things for some. Let's see, why don't I go to their post here? Sorry, guys. Bear with me a moment. These kits are on the way too. This is not new, but just a reminder about these. These look pretty cool. I forget what the name of these are, but they're showing the custom
MSG weapon parts.
Yeah, customizability. Is that right? Is that a word? Yeah, using MSG weapons parts on these. So those look pretty fun. This is also a collaboration with another company that had the design of these, I think. That Kotobuki is just producing them. There's the white version, the black version, if you preferred. You get a sense of the size of it too, if you're familiar with frame arms growth kits. So it'll be not huge, but it's a cute little guy. And so these, I don't know without checking, but you've got these up for pre-order, I imagine, on the site, yeah?
I believe so. I can look. I know they're on order.
Yep. I don't remember the price offhand, is what made me think of that. But I imagine they're not that expensive because they're relatively small. But they're also a collaboration, so probably the licensing fee may not be that much, but that could be adding a little bit to the price anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yes, a new Phantasy Star Online 2 version of this kit. It's the same kit that they have like 4 or 5 different versions of this kit out now, but it's got a bunch of new equipment on it anyway.
Yeah. Also
very small. If you guys remember, I did build and review one of these before in the past, and I was surprised at how small this kit is. It's very small. You can see it on this base to get a sense of that.
Yeah, the bases are tiny. It's like a 1/44th scale base.
Yeah, and so the size of them,
tiny.
They're comparable to like an HG Gundam kit, if not even without all the extra equipment and everything on there. They're actually smaller than a standard 1/44 scale Gundam. So I mean, this has a bunch of stuff on there, so it's going to be a little bit more substantial of a build. But the crazy thing too is how expensive they are. So that must be a licensing thing or something, I guess. With Sega, right? Sega?
I believe so, yeah.
Because pricey for how small those kits are. But definitely looks cool. All the new equipment and stuff on there. It's got new backpack parts and new leg parts, and this shield section on this arm, this shield and gun. I'm not sure if that's new or not. That could maybe not be new, but I think that's new. A new one of those. This would be Megami Device or Frame Arms Girl Megami Device. Yeah. This one, what's the name of it? I can't remember. This is pretty wild, though. At first, when I saw this, I thought it was just a custom build because they have that kind of like ring. There's an MSG effect part for like that kind of like chainsaw blade ring thing.
Right.
I thought that's what I was on here when I first looked at it, but then I realized it's completely different. But it's pretty wild, a little bit more like Japanese mythology kind of looking style design on that, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So that's just still in just the prototype phase. So I think that one surely not up for pre-order yet.
No.
These, because they're not, they don't have the official information all out for these quite yet. And this one, a new Asgear Aegis collaboration kit here. You can kind of see the full artwork design down there. Kind of interesting. Like the character design reminds me of like kind of, I don't know if you'd be like Gundam Seed or Double O. They're kind of like clothing style, right?
Yep.
Reminds me a little bit of that. And then like with all the mecha parts that on there, it's sort of like if there was like a Mecha Musume kit, like you know how they had the Build Divers kit with say with Iori's mom as like the ship.
Yeah.
What was it the
Archangel?
Mm-hmm.
She was but she had like the uniform on and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It reminds me a lot of that kit, where if you can imagine, these are like kind of like ship parts, sort of kind of look like that, and then she's got like that kind of uniform on.
Yeah,
reminded me of that kit. This one also looks pretty cool. I like that. I like this style a little bit more than this one personally. That's just to my personal taste. The eye patch is pretty cool though. I would say that's kind of cool. Yeah. This one, I don't think this is actually going to be as a kit. It's just something that they were posting.
Yeah, we talked about that before too. I think.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I was going to say we had talked about this, didn't we? So, are they going to make an actual like release of this? Maybe they are.
I don't know. I know that I know when we were talking, we determined that this was a custom build.
Yeah. But this one is different.
Is it?
Yeah, this is different from what we saw before. So I think the first one was like a custom build, just kind of like to tease the idea. And this one seems like it's an actual like product that they're going to put out, because it's just the architect girl with the MSG parts, and then just new parts for the hair and the head to have the Nippako thing on there. God hand thing. So like a God hand collaboration.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
At least, yeah, this looks like it's an actual going to be a new product. So I haven't seen this one as well. Not available like for pre-order or anything yet, but it seems like this is going to be an actual kit, which will be pretty cool. I think I like it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll have a big decal marking sheet to have all these decals on there as well too.
Yeah. That'd be cool if they make that.
Or if those might just all be decals from that. There's the Haikyuu God Hand decal sets. That might be what those are. Although I don't remember for sure. But hopefully it's an actual decal set, new and included with this kit would be cool. Interesting. I hadn't looked at this actually more closely, but now that I am, that does seem like that it's going to be an actual kit. Could end up being like a web shop exclusive. We can see what it says here. Nippako, yeah. Architect version Nippako announced on Nippako Day will be commercialized. So there you go. Yeah. Awesome.
Nice.
This one, I think, is one of the more exciting things as well too. The reverse strike.
Yep. That we should have up for pre-order day, actually.
There you go. Yeah, this was announced like over the weekend is when they put out a bunch of the new stuff. This came out a few days before that though.
Yeah.
The announcement for this one. So very cool. Then you can use it with the Ludens kit. And I also seen that, and I mentioned this in the news video too, that they had shared that you'll be able to use it with the upcoming Figma of Sam Porter Bridges as well too.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Or any Figma, I guess, if you want to use it with that. But it does look very cool. And hopefully this one as well too will come with decals for like the tape on the packages. Assuming that it will, and all of these decals. So, fingers crossed we should have a pretty substantial decal sheet to be included with this.
Yeah, I would think they'd have all that.
All the markings and all the tape and labels and stuff to put on the packages. That would be really cool. So that'll be fun. That'll be a fun one. Usually not particularly into building stuff like this, motorcycles and stuff, but I think that'll be a fun one. And the Ludens kit was a great kit as well too, so that'd be nice. I haven't seen anything about this yet so far, but I'm assuming that the packages will be compatible like with the backpack as well to be able to stack stuff on there.
I would think it'd be smart if they did that.
Yeah. It seems like it probably should, but it's kind of hard to tell in those videos, in those photos. But there's 2 different size boxes. I think there's like one big one and 2 smaller ones. I think that come with this. And the big one looks like the exact same size as her backpack. So it looks like that at least should be able to plug onto the backpack.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was, of course, then the Nachin tank as well, too. There's the back image of that.
That I'm excited for.
Yes, definitely. So, I mean, these are going to be 10 centimeters tall. So much larger, like more closer to the size, like height of a standard high grade kind of kit. So much larger of a kit compared to the old ones. And just a lot of articulation in there now, finally, as well, too. Would be great. That's really cool that is happening, you know? Never would have expected that. I know there are some more photos. We'll have to see. Here they are. Yeah. You can see the fingers will be articulated, all the parts in the arm, the knees, the feet are little separate parts on there. And it looks like the top part will also open up as well, too.
Cockpit area.
Or at least it's a separate part.
Yeah.
Don't know based on the photos so far if there's anything inside there really to see, but at least it'll open up. Maybe it'll be that you can open it up to change the eyes. The eye piece will be a separate piece you have to put in from the back or something.
Yeah, maybe.
So you have to open up the top in order to change that. That could be. Hopefully that's how they do it. Just have it as the separate pieces for the eyes that you can swap out. Seems like that would make sense. So that'll be great. But yeah, new Metabots kit coming out as well too. For the couple of fans out there that exist.
Yeah.
And this one is another one I'm not really familiar with this source material. Maybe it's also from the same series. Brave Police J. Decker. Is that like a reference? Is that Blade Runner?
I have no clue.
Reference. Seems like kind of like one of those Japanese kind of like tongue-in-cheek references without it being like super apparent. Not like to anything that would infringe on any copyright, but like an obvious reference to that.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting though. Again, if you're into this particular style. That's got that more humanoid kind of face on there. Less Gundam-like. And this one, which is, I'm not really sure, this is a new line or something that they're starting, it looks like. Because it's not in the frame arms or Maguna
right.
And I believe this is supposed to be a kit, not a figure. Although I could be wrong about that. I think this is going to be a kit. But they said here LBCX. And it says the third Armor Girl. So I don't know.
The other two
First I've seen anything like this.
The other two would be what? I guess the Frame Arms Girls and the Megami Device line. Is that what there?
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe that's what that's referring to. The third line.
Maybe.
Could be. It's a bit hard to tell from the translation there. On the actual Kotobukiya English website, there might be more information. Actually, I'm not too sure. And then the Durga 1 getting a Frame Arms Girl kit as well too. So this is a variation of the Magatsuki, which is coming out in November or December.
Yep.
Shortly. So this is the Durga 1 and the Durga 2 are variations of that design. So that'll be cool. That'll be coming out as well. And then, if they make a Frame Arms Girl Durga 2, I don't know. It's hard to say, but maybe it depends on the sales of that one.
Yeah.
This one, I believe, too, was another variant kit that's also coming out. Limited production original. So it's an Amazon.com or Amazon Japan limited version that it looks like, actually. The Architect Girl. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Bandai paved the way with the Amazon exclusive kits, I guess. There you go. It's got that custom shield on there. That's pretty awesome looking. But yeah, Kotobukiya's got a bunch of stuff coming out. This one as well too. This is a Assault Lily collaboration. I believe this one was actually designed by Naoki.
That's cool.
I'd seen Naoki sharing something about this as well too. So I think this was his design. Very, very different style or like look for the face. A lot of the Frame Arms Girl kits all have like a very similar looking face because they're all like designed by Nidhi. But this one's face is quite different. It's a pretty wild design for that one. Another collaboration design. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know about the Assault Lily thing. I'm not really sure what that's all about.
No idea either.
Mm-hmm. And these, yes. Do you have the pre-order for these? The what's the name of it? I can never remember the name of this series. But have you seen about this?
Was it the one where there were two different ones?
I believe there's what they have available for pre-order so far. I think is just the one.
Okay.
There's the one kit, and then there's like a table and chairs set for it. It's, shoujo something.
I don't know if we got any of those coming.
But this is a new one in that line. They're basically kind of like simplified versions of Frame Arms Girls kits. So it's a kit that you build yourself, but it's like basically building like a Figma, basically, and what it looks like ultimately. And the construction is apparently supposed to be a little bit more simplified from like your typical Frame Arms Girl kit.
Okay.
Less pieces. But ultimately kind of similar in like how it all goes together. But they're not like the Mecha Musume characters. They're just like normal people, style characters here. So I got some new stuff coming out in that line, which as far as I know is like a new line. I think they only have, this is the one.
Okay.
I think that is coming out already. Or that's set to come out, I believe, in January or something. So yeah, kind of interesting. They're going that route now instead of like the Mecha Musume girls. It's just straight up just girls.
Yeah.
But they're compatible with the Frame Arms Girl. So there's with the Frame Arms Girl materia head on there. You can swap them out and all that. So that'd be cool. More and more options for swapping parts between the lines there. I like that. Yeah, the table and chairs set. This set also comes with like these snacks here, snacks and drinks that you can have for those. So there you have it. All right. So thank you guys for hanging out with us today, Adam, as always.
Definitely. Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Tuning in.
Sounds like there's a lot of stuff to go through there. All the new kits and everything coming in. So for those of you guys waiting on your orders and stuff, sounds like a lot of stuff will be going out as usual.
Yep.
Over the next little bit, if you've been waiting for stuff. So good news on that. Mgex kits are on the way, and a lot of other cool stuff on the way as well too. So thank you guys all for tuning in, watching live, for asking your questions. I know there was probably some more questions in there that I missed, but hopefully we got through most of them. But you guys can always ask. We'll be live again in 2 weeks' time. You can ask your questions next time if we did miss them this time. So,
definitely.
Adam, anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So until next time, guys, have a good rest of the weekend, and we'll see you later.
Bye.